Hi, I'm Ray Brunell. I'm the founder of the Natural Health Clinic, and today we're going to be discussing if you're 50 or over, you need to avoid these mistakes because they will age you quickly. When we come back, we'll get right into it. So, are you 50 or over? Listen up. Here's the things that you want to both do and especially avoid. So the first thing is that, many times once a person begins aging, they start noticing that they're having some health problems, and what do? They go to a physician or whatever the case may be. And so the first thing is make sure that the person you're thinking of working with has actually been successful in solving the problems that you want to get help with, not just have seen many patients in their professional life. So, maybe you're seeing a physician, they've seen 30, 40, 50, 60, 100,000 patients. That sounds, pretty great, but have they really been successful in reversing the issues that you're coming in with in those, 50, 60, 100,000 patient base? So make that consideration. It's very, very important. Now, don't just accept any diagnosis. If it doesn't feel right, then it very possibly may not be right for you. So don't just take a diagnosis on its face. Make sure that it makes sense to you and that it feels right for you. Also, make sure that the recommended solution or treatment to the problem or for the problem isn't going to begin you on a circular downward spiral into more and more health problems, also known as side effects. That's what frequently happens, and especially beginning with high blood pressure medications or statin medications, and from then on, it's been shown in different surveys and studies that the subsequent medications that individuals get are actually due to a large part from the side effects of the originating medications. So don't get yourself into that downward spiral. The next thing that you want to do is to get out of the city and into nature as much as you possibly can. You need to be able to find a form of exercise that you can do consistently and sustainably. It doesn't mean that you have to do it many times a week or for long durations of time. It's actually better if you do less frequent exercise sustainably. In plain words, if you can exercise well for 30 or 45 minutes once a week, and you can do that for your entire lifespan and never stop, that's going to do much better than exercising 3, 4, 5 times a week for a year or two. So consistent and especially sustainable forms of exercise. One of the main things that can do is help your body to de-stress, because it helps to remove one of the major stress hormones, adrenal hormones, which is cortisol. Let's talk about getting the most important nutrients. Well, the first nutrient is actually sunshine, also known as vitamin D. Very, very important. Most people are not taking enough, even if they're taking supplementation. Very frequently, it requires 30, 40, even 50,000 international units daily, not weekly, in order to really get a therapeutic benefit. So don't be concerned that you're going to be taking so much vitamin D that it becomes toxic. As a factoid to help you understand this point, if you are outside for 30 minutes on a summer day, in the hottest part of the day between 12 and let's say 4 p.m., every 30 minutes that you're outside, your body is going to be producing 20,000 international units of vitamin D. So that's 40,000 international units an hour. If you're fishing for 3 hours, well, you're producing quite a bit of vitamin D, are you not? So it is very difficult to get toxic levels of vitamin D. Another very important nutrient that many people, if not most people, are deficient in is magnesium. There are all kinds of different forms of magnesium. Some not good, some of them very good. So I'm not going to get into that, but do a little bit of research, easy enough to find. And it's very important that you get enough magnesium into your diet. In fact, when you are low in magnesium, your cells cannot produce enough energy. So that can in itself make you start feeling older than you actually are. And the next important nutrient is make sure that you're getting adequate levels of zinc. That especially is helpful for immune function, of course other function as well. Now there's a few nutrients that you want to be careful of. The first one is calcium. Calcium is at higher levels responsible for plaquing of the arteries. So, atherosclerosis can actually be created through high levels of serum or calcium in the blood. So you do not want to overdo calcium supplementation. Be very, very careful of this, especially women over 50, peri, postmenopause. They're often encouraged to be taking calcium supplementation because of osteopenia, osteoporosis, or to prevent such things. So be very careful of that. It is easy to create toxic levels of calcium and this potential plaquing. Another one is iron. Now here's a very interesting point that you need to know is that our bodies, both male and female, find it very difficult to remove iron. It is true that cycling women may need a little more iron because they're bleeding, so they have to have more supply of iron for their blood supply, but only 0.5 to 1 milligram of iron is able to be removed by your body a day. And the recommended daily allowance is much, much higher than that. I believe it's 8 milligrams if I'm not mistaken. Should have looked it up before I went on here, right? But I believe it's 8 milligrams daily recommended amount of iron. And that's across the board, male, female, and our bodies can only remove 0.5 to 1 milligram. So think about that. It's very easy to become iron toxic. In fact, that's one of the #1 reasons for nutrient poisoning within children is iron toxicity. So be careful of the amount of iron that you're getting. Start looking in your nutritional facts on the back of your supplementation, etc., etc. Now, another thing to be aware of is sodium. So many people are sodium averse. It's very common to have sodium deficiency. Now, one of the things that can happen, and it's very common with sodium deficiency, is that you have elevations of cortisol, which is a stress hormone, of which you're exercising in order to help remove. And then you're removing sodium from your diet in order to help your blood pressure, probably. And that actually increases your levels of cortisol. So this is kind of a spiral as well, an endless cycle of ridiculousness. So you want to make sure that you're getting the proper form of sodium or salt. Table salt is very bad. It is toxic. You need to remove it. You need to remove sodium in prepared products. Get the least or no sodium that you can from those types of sources. And you want to consume proper forms, unprocessed forms of salt containing 70 to 85 different trace minerals. It is very, very key. Now, if you are sodium sensitive, that is a sure sign that you're potassium deficient, because sodium and potassium levels work together in a proper ratio, so they have to be together. In plain words, if you're removing the sodium, that's going to create problems with potassium. If you're sensitive to sodium, it's likely because you are low in potassium. Women entering menopause, you listen up, please. You need to increase cholesterol. That's right, increase cholesterol. What? The reason I'm saying that is that all of your female hormones, the building block, the first Lego block of your female hormones is cholesterol. Excuse me. So if you begin lowering cholesterol, you actually lower the body's ability to manufacture these hormones and help you maintain healthy endocrine function and remove all the effects of menopause. If you get enough cholesterol, your body can maintain the levels of reproductive hormone, and that will help you to sail through menopause very, very well. What you do need to cut down on instead of cholesterol is sugar in starches, all right? Especially these starches, there's many hidden starches in things. Dextrin, dextrose, maltodextrin, wheat flour, tapioca starches. All these things are starch. They're sugars. They will increase insulin, and they will increase glucose, and all these things that we do not want. Make sure that you're eating enough protein. You know how people snack all the time? The reason is they're not consuming enough protein. Animals and humans will continue to feel hungry and eat until they get the amount of protein that they require. Also, when you eat healthy forms of animal protein, grass-fed meats, free-range chicken, etc., you are going to be getting the nutrients that you need, vital trace minerals. One of the only places that you can get all of the essential amino acids that your body requires. It's also important that as you're aging that you're getting adequate amounts of protein, because it will help you to maintain muscle mass as we age, which is the thing that you tend to lose very rapidly, unfortunately. Have fewer meals, all right? If you can only have 1 or 2 meals a day, and especially stop eating sooner in the day instead of having meals later in the day, that will help you very well. Because you remember the old idea, you need to eat frequently, small meals frequently, 6 times a day, whatever the case may be, because that's going to maintain your blood sugar. Here's the fact. Every time you eat, even if you're snacking, that creates a surge of insulin. And the surge of insulin, how much insulin resistance issues are there today? Okay? The reason is that you have all these surges of insulin constantly throughout the day, and eventually your cells become resistant to it. The cell receptors do. So the way to avoid that is to eat fewer times during the day. 1 or 2 times, fantastic. Make sure you're getting adequate amounts of protein, and you're never going to feel like you need to continue snacking or eating. And that is the other thing. Stop snacking, because those snacks are also increasing those insulin surges as well. Also, be aware of autoimmune disease. It is pretty much the #1 health problem, especially in the United States today. It is also an interesting fact that over 90% of autoimmune patients have had some kind of stress event just preceding the onset of their autoimmune disease. So once again, mitigating stress, making sure that you're in an environment that's conducive to managing your stress levels is exceptionally important, especially as we age, but really any time in life. And finally, let's talk microbes, gut microbes specifically. So after someone takes antibiotics, I am here to tell you that those gut microbes have been killed. I'm sure you know that, but what you may not know is that they never come back. Yes, I know that they have told you otherwise. I know that you have heard you can take probiotics and you can eat fermented foods and you'll just repopulate them after a few weeks. There are some gut microbes that you need that will never return. Never. So be extremely careful about taking antibiotics. They can do major harm to your body long term. Why? Because they kill these microbes that never return, and those microbes control your brain cognition. They control your sleep. They can control your hormonal system. They help your body be cancer resistant, and they help with overall immune system function and many, many other things. So if you found this information helpful, please like, comment, share with your friends, and these things will help go a long way. If you're 50 or over, that's really when you should start, but really it's beneficial to start even sooner than that. In fact, as soon as possible. My name is Leigh Brunell, and I am the founder of the Natural Health Clinic, and if you are looking for someone who can help you with your health problems, that actually has a lot of experience in many different health areas, health arenas, then I am here to help you. The first step is to make an appointment for an initial consultation, and it's at the initial consultation that we can find if we can work together and help you with your health problems. Consider it a discovery. It is a discovery to see if we can work together to help solve your health issues, and what's even more important, what may be causing your body's inability to heal on its own and recover from those health issues. So once again, if you have found this information important and interesting, please like, share, and comment. Have a great day.